Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 18, Conclusion, the Perfection of Renunciation. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mysticism, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. O King, as I remember the wonderful form of Krishna, I am struck with wonder more and more, and I rejoice again and again. O King, as I recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure, being thrilled at every moment. By the mercy of Vyasa, I have heard this most confidential talk directly from the master of all mysticism, Krishna, who was speaking to Arjuna personally. Sanjaya said, "Thus I have heard the conversation of two great souls, Krishna and Arjuna, and so wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on end." Arjuna said, "My dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am firm and I am free from doubts, and I am ready to act according to your instructions. O son of Pritha, O winner of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind, and are your ignorance and illusion now dispelled? And one who listens this with faith and without envy becomes free from all sinful reactions and attains to the pure, auspicious planets where the pious dwell. And I declare that one who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. There is no servant more dear to me in this world, more dear to me than him, nor will there ever be one more dear. One who explains this supreme secret to the devotee, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he reaches my supreme abode. This confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not austere, not devoted, or not engaged in devotional service, nor to one who is envious of me. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. Thus I have explained to you knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate on it fully and then do what you wish to do. Surrender unto him utterly. By his grace you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme eternal abode. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living beings, who are situated as in a machine made of material energy. Under illusion, you are now declining to act according to my instruction. But impaled by the work born of your own nature, you will act all the same, O son of Kunti. If you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you will have to be engaged in warfare. If you become conscious of me, you will easily cross over all material obstacles by my grace. If, however, you act through false ego and do not hear me, then you will be falsely directed. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my devotee under my protection reaches the eternal and imperishable abode. One can know me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service, and when one becomes fully conscious of me, by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. One who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards every living being. One who is at that state attains pure devotional service unto me. One who is free from false ego, false strength, false pride, lust, anger, acceptance of material things, who is free from false prestige and peaceful, such a person is certainly elevated to the position of self-realization. One who lives in a secluded place, who eats little, who controls his body, mind, and the power of speech, who is situated in trance and always detached. Being purified by his intelligence and controlling his mind with determination, giving up all objects of sense gratification, and one who is free from attachment and hatred. O son of Kunti, learn from me how one who has achieved this stage of perfection can attain to the supreme perfectional stage, Brahma, the stage of highest knowledge, by acting in a way I shall now summarize. One who is self-controlled and unattached, and who disregards all sensual enjoyments, can obtain, by practice of renunciation, the highest perfectional stage of freedom from reactions. Every endeavor is covered by some fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. Therefore, you should not give up the work born of your own nature, O son of Kunti, even if such work is full of fault. It is better to engage in one's own occupation, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. Duties prescribed according to one's own nature are never affected by sinful reactions. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all-pervading, a man can attain perfection through performing his own work. By following his qualities of work, every man can become perfect. Now hear from me how this can be done. Farming, cow protection, and business are the natural work for the Vaishyas, and for the Shudras there is labor and service to others. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership, these are the natural qualities for the Kshatriyas. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiosity. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work. Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are distinguished by qualities born of their own nature, in accordance with the three modes of material nature. There is no being existing either here or among the demigods in the higher planetary systems who is free from these three modes born of material nature. That happiness which is blind to self-realization, and which is the illusion from beginning to end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be in the mode of ignorance. That happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects, and which appears like nectar at first, but is poison at the end, is of the nature of passion. That which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. O best of the Bharatas, now hear from me of 3 kinds of happiness by which the conditioned soul enjoys, and by which he sometimes comes to the end of all distresses. That determination which cannot go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and illusion, such unintelligent determination is said to be in the mode of darkness. That determination which holds fast to fruitive results in religion, economic development, and sense gratification is said to be of the nature of passion. And that determination, which is unbreakable, which is sustained by steadfastness, by yoga practice, and which thus controls the mind, senses, and life, is of the nature of goodness. That understanding by which one cannot distinguish between religion, that understanding by which one considers religion to be irreligion and irreligion to be religion, under the spell of illusion and darkness, and always striving in wrong direction, O Partha is said to be in the mode of ignorance. O son of Pritha, that understanding by which one cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion, between action that should be done and action that should not be done, you should understand to be in the mode of passion. O son of Pritha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, is of the nature of goodness. O winner of wealth, now hear from me in detail of different kinds of understanding and determination according to the 3 modes of material nature. That worker who is engaged in work always against the injunctions of the scripture, who is materialistic, obstinate, cheating, expert in insulting others, who is lazy, morose, and always procrastinating, is said to be a worker in the mode of ignorance. The worker who is attached to work and the fruits of work, desiring to enjoy those fruits, and who is greedy, always envious, impure, and moved by joy and sorrow, is said to be a worker in the mode of passion. One who performs his duty without association with the material modes of nature, without false ego, with great determination and enthusiasm, and without wavering in success or failure, is said to be a worker in the mode of goodness. That action which is performed in illusion, in disregard of scriptural injunctions, or without consideration of future bondage, or violence or distress caused to others, is said to be action in the mode of ignorance. But action performed with great effort by one desiring to gratify by one seeking to gratify his desires, and which is impaled by false ego, is said to be action in the mode of passion. Action that is regulated, which is performed without attachment, without love or hatred, and without desire for fruitive results, is said to be in the mode of goodness. That knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work as the all in all, without knowledge of the truth, and which is very meager, is said to be in the mode of darkness. That knowledge by which one sees that in every different body there is a different kind of living entity, you should understand to be in the mode of passion. That knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities, though divided into innumerable forms, you should know to be in the mode of goodness. According to the three modes of material nature, according to three different modes of material nature, there are three different kinds of knowledge, action, and performer of action. Now hear of them from me. Knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower are the three constituents, are the three factors that motivate action. And the work, the senses, and the doer are the three constituents of action. One who is not motivated by false ego and whose intelligence is not entangled, though killing man in this world does not kill, nor is he entangled by his actions. Therefore, one who considers himself the only doer without considering these five factors is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. Whatever right or wrong action a man performs with his body, mind, or speech are caused by these five factors. The place of action, the body, the performer, the various senses, and the many different kinds of endeavors, and ultimately the supersoul. These are the five factors of action. O mighty armed Arjuna, according to the Vedas, there are five factors for accomplishing all actions. Now hear of them from me. For one who is not renounced the threefold fruits of action, desirable, undesirable, and mixed, accumulate after death. But for one who is in the renounced order of life, has no such fruit to suffer or enjoy. It is indeed impossible for an embodied being to renounce all activities, but one who has renounced the fruits of action is called one who has truly renounced. The intelligent renouncer, situated in the mode of goodness, neither hateful of inauspicious work nor attached to auspicious work, has no doubts about her. O Arjuna, one who performs his duty because it ought to be done, giving up, renouncing all material association, and without attachment to the result, is said to be renunciation in the mode of goodness. Anyone who gives up prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. Such action never leads to elevation of renunciation. Prescribed duties are not to be renounced. One who gives up his prescribed duties out of illusion is said to have renounced in the mode of ignorance. All these activities should be performed without attachment and without expectation of result. They should be performed as a matter of duty. That is my final opinion. Acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should not be given up. Indeed, acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance can purify even the great souls. O best of the Bharatas, now hear my judgment about renunciation. O tiger among men, renunciation is declared in the scriptures to be of three kinds. Some learned men declare that all all fruitive activities should be given up as faulty, yet other sages maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "The renunciation of actions that are based on material desires is what the great learned man called renounced order of life, sannyas, and the renunciation of fruits of all actions is what the wise called renunciation, tyaga." Arjuna said, "O mighty armed one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, tyaga, and of the renounced order of life, sannyas, O killer of Kesh demon, master of the senses."